Chosen one, before your thoughts rush ahead or your mind tries to measure what these words mean, I need you to slow your breath and listen from a deeper place, because this moment was not scheduled by chance, it was summoned. And the reason you're here right now is not because you searched for this message, but because something in the unseen realm aligned perfectly with your readiness to receive it. And heaven does not reveal hidden things randomly. It reveals them when the vessel is finally prepared to hold the weight of truth without fear, distortion, or retreat. And what is opening before you now is not symbolic language or emotional motivation. It is recognition, the kind that settles in your spirit before it ever reaches your understanding. Because long before today, you sensed that something was forming, something just beyond your vision, something that made your soul restless in quiet moments and alert in stillness. And that restlessness was not confusion, it was resonance. It was your spirit responding to a door that had not yet opened, but was already calling your name. And hear this clearly now. Heaven does not carve names into doors lightly. It does so only when access has been authorized. And the reason access was delayed was never because you were unworthy. It was because timing is sacred, and power revealed too early can overwhelm what it was meant to bless. And right now, as these words settle into you, your spiritual perception is being recalibrated, not gradually, but decisively. Because there are moments when clarity arrives like dawn, and moments when it arrives like lightning. And this is lightning, sudden, illuminating, irreversible. And the reason your past seasons felt slow, repetitive, or unclear was because preparation often feels like obscurity when you don't yet see what it is protecting. But God was not withholding from you. He was preserving something for you, something that required depth, discernment, and maturity to steward. And now the veil that separated what you were asking from what was being prepared has thinned, not because you demanded it, but because you aligned with it, often without realizing it, through endurance, through restraint, through choosing integrity when recognition was absent, and through continuing to believe even when evidence was silent. And understand this, chosen one. The enemy's most effective strategy was never destruction, it was diversion. Because if he could keep your focus scattered, your vision blurred, your attention locked onto delay and disappointment, you would never notice what was assembling just beyond your line of sight. But distraction loses its power the moment awareness returns, and awareness is returning to you now, not as anxiety, but as authority. Because spiritual sight is not something you strain for, it is something that activates when alignment is complete. And alignment does not mean perfection, it means agreement. Agreement between what heaven has spoken and what you are finally ready to receive without resistance. And right now, heaven is repositioning your understanding, moving you from interpretation to revelation, from questioning to knowing, from waiting to seeing. And this is why this message did not reach you yesterday or last week, because yesterday you were still shedding what could not cross the threshold with you. And next week you will already be walking inside what is being revealed now. And there are truths that can only be spoken in the narrow space between those two states, and that space is where you are standing. And as you stand here, something ancient is responding within you, something that remembers who you were before you learned to doubt your perception, before survival taught you to shrink your expectations, before disappointment trained you to call delay God's will instead of God's timing. And timing has shifted, not slowly, but suddenly, because acceleration always follows concealment, and what took years to prepare can manifest in days once the foundation is secure. And you are more secure than you realize, because stability is not loud, it is consistent, and consistency is what qualified you for this unveiling. And hear this now with clarity. What God is about to show you is not just insight, it is assignment. Not a role given by people, not a path shaped by culture, but a direction that feels both new and strangely familiar, like something you have always known but never had language for. And when it reveals itself fully, it will not confuse you, it will confirm you. Because divine assignments do not feel foreign, they feel aligned. They click into place like truth recognizing itself. And the reason you have felt tension recently is because clarity creates pressure just before release, like breath held before movement. And movement is coming, not forced, not chaotic, but intentional, guided, precise. And you will know the next step not because it is loud, but because it brings peace without diminishing urgency. And that balance is how you recognize divine direction. And understand this as well. Consecration is not withdrawal from the world. It is clarity within it. It is choosing what you allow to shape your perception, what you permit to influence your inner atmosphere. Because vision is not only about what you see, it is about how clearly you see it. And clarity requires intention, not isolation. And as you move forward from this moment, obedience will become lighter, not heavier, because obedience aligned with revelation feels natural, not forced. And you will begin to notice doors opening that you did not knock on, conversations aligning without effort, confirmations arriving from unexpected places, not to impress you, but to reassure you that you are walking in sequence. And sequence is everything in the spiritual realm, because when timing and movement agree, resistance loses leverage, and the fear that once whispered "what if" will be replaced with a quiet certainty that says "now." And now is the word being released over you, not later, not someday, but now. Because what you are stepping into does not require you to become someone else. It requires you to stop delaying who you already are. And as this realization settles, you may feel both excitement and solemnity, because destiny is not casual, it is weighty. But it is not heavy when carried with grace. And grace is meeting you here, steadying you, anchoring you, reminding you that you were never meant to walk this alone. And from this point forward, clarity will compound, insight will build upon insight, and vision will sharpen as you move, not before, because sight follows obedience just as often as it precedes it. And this is the beginning of seeing differently, not just spiritually, but practically, relationally, directionally. Because revelation does not stay in the unseen, it expresses itself in choices, boundaries, courage, and movement. And as you continue listening, something is being sealed, not emotionally, but spiritually. And what is sealed cannot be reversed, only fulfilled. And you are ready for fulfillment. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are present, aware, and willing. And that is all heaven requires to begin revealing what has been waiting for you all along. And as this understanding settles within you, chosen one, I want you to recognize that this moment is not just about listening, it is about agreement. Because every time heaven reveals something, it waits for human willingness not to retreat. And your spirit is not retreating, it is leaning forward, ready to receive, ready to accept. And this leaning is not weakness, it is a position of authority. Because only one who knows they are about to stand can truly bow. And you are about to stand in a way that will give even the shadows of your past a new meaning. Because many things that once felt like failure were actually delayed seeds, sealed within time. And now, time itself is opening in your favor. And when time opens, it does not just change events, it changes identity. You will begin to see yourself the way heaven has always seen you, not the way experience has taught you to see yourself. And this shift will be sudden, because true identity is not gradual, it is revealed, like a light switching on in a dark room, where everything becomes visible at once. And this is why this message feels heavy to you, because it is not merely information, it is illumination. And when light arrives, it exposes everything that was hidden, not only around you, but within you as well. And what is being exposed within you is not fear, it is power, restrained strength that is no longer permitted to remain dormant. And you can feel old limitations loosening inside you, old agreements breaking apart, voices that once sounded authoritative losing their weight and becoming nothing more than background noise. Because when the true voice becomes clear, everything else loses its influence. And this is what is happening now. Noise is falling away, clarity is rising, and with clarity comes responsibility. Because once you see, you can no longer pretend not to see, and once you know, you cannot live as if you are unaware. And you have reached a threshold where returning is no longer an option, only moving forward remains. And moving forward is not frightening when direction is clear, and direction is becoming clear to you now. Through subtle insights, quiet confirmations, and a steady inner certainty that does not argue with logic, it simply exists. And this certainty will soon guide you into decisions that once felt heavy, but will now feel natural. Because when vision is clear, decisions become simple, and simplicity is a sign of strength, not confusion. And understand this clearly. In the days ahead, not everything will change dramatically at once, but what will change is the foundation. And when the foundation shifts, every structure built upon it eventually transforms. And this time is now active, no longer passive, no longer waiting, but moving. And this movement is not chaotic, it is precise, targeted toward the areas of your life where resistance once lingered. And that resistance was not because the path was closed, but because you were not yet permitted to see its full width. And now permission is being granted, because you have moved beyond survival-based perception and into purpose-based vision. And purpose is always expansive. It is not only for you, it is meant to move through you. And that is why preparation took so long, because the impact will be deep, and depth requires roots, and your roots are strong now, even if it never felt that way while they were growing, because roots are invisible during development, but undeniable when fruit appears. And fruit is coming in different forms at different moments, but from the same source. And that source is becoming clear to you now. And as clarity increases, you will begin to reinterpret your past pain, no longer as suffering, but as training. And this redefinition will lighten you, because what is understood no longer weighs you down. And in that lightness, you will move faster. And speed here is not haste, it is alignment, the state where effort and outcome draw closer together. And this is acceleration, the very acceleration your spirit has sensed for a long time. And I am stating this plainly now, so no doubt remains. The old season is closing, and a new one is opening. And you are not standing at the edge, you have already entered, even if your external circumstances have not fully shifted yet, because spiritual reality always changes before physical expression does. And what changes first is what is most real. And that is why peace is rising within you without explanation, and anticipation is awakening without fear. And this combination is rare, and it is the sign that you are exactly where you are meant to be, at the exact moment you were meant to arrive. And what is coming will not drain you, it will empower you, because you will now move forward not with the energy of struggle, but with the energy of clarity. And this has already begun from this very moment. And this flow will not stop, because what has been seen cannot be hidden again. And you are seeing, even if words have not fully formed yet. And words will come soon, as steps, as decisions, as opportunities. And with every step, your faith will no longer be built on assumption, but on experience. And experience will teach you that this path is secure, guided, and intentionally prepared for you. And this is the point where many stop, but you will not, because what once stopped you no longer has the same authority over you. And what is rising within you is greater than whatever restrained you. And this is only the beginning.